Hi, girly.
Hi, girly.
I'm Eliana,
And I'm Derek.
and this is
Episode 11
Dang of the book club for
for
the
the
girlies.
girlies.
On today's episode of For the Girlies, we're going to be chatting about
You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Daria.
Yay! So, this is our second Hispanic Heritage Month read.
Yes, ma'am.
We're really excited to get into this one, but before we do, please, please, please be sure to comment, like, share, subscribe to our
Yes.
channel and this video as well. Show this video some love. And
Make sure you are hitting that notification bell at the top of the screen so you know when we are posting. Also, be kind to this author.
yes,
Um, Be kind to each other in the comments. Be kind to us in the comments. We are here for a good time and just to share our thoughts, our likes, our dislikes. So let's make sure we're being kind while we're doing all of that.
additionally, spoiler alert, we're going to be getting into this book, you guys. So if you are spoiler averse, just put the volume a little low to still give us the view, please. But without further ado, let's
Let's
get
get
into
into
it.
it.
So, to introduce this book, as
Mhm.
you said, Alexis Daria, You Had Me at Hola, and it is about these two actors named Jasmine and Ashton.
Mhm.
One is coming from the telenovela world, which is Ashton's background, and then Jasmine is coming from the soap opera world.
Yes.
Yes. So they are filming a new show for a
Together. Yes.
for a streaming platform that could potentially catapult them to new heights.
Mhm.
However, Ashton is holding back a lot of secrets.
Mhm. A
Eh,
lot of secrets.
Yeah, and Jasmine is she's struggling to follow her leading lady plan.
Yes, ma'am.
So chaos ensues between them.
Yeah,
That's pretty much
that's it.
the synopsis for that one. In terms of it being a long or short read, what did you think?
It was hard to kind of like get into it at first,
Hmm.
but I would still say it was a short read for me. How
Okay.
about you?
It was a pretty quick read. I would agree with that. Like you said, it was a little difficult to get into, and for me, I think it was personally the format of it because it was sometimes there would be scenes of the actual show that they were filming included in the book, and some
Hmm.
like I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it kind of took me out of the story a little bit and kind of confused me sometimes. So, yeah, that's what I
Mm,
would say.
okay. See, and that's something I really enjoyed.
I liked the element of it,
Yeah,
but me personally, I know that it took me out of
out
it a
of the
little bit.
story
Yeah.
that we needed to be following.
Yeah.
Understood. So the format is written from their point of views. So each chapter would be their point. Not really even their
It
each
wasn't each
chapter.
chapter. It would
It would
change
change within the dialogue. Um,
between Jasmine and
between
Ashton's.
Jasmine and Ashton, and then like she said, it would also be like we're in the middle of the scene. So then we'd be getting like the scene that
Yeah.
of the show that they were filming.
Yeah, which was cool, but
Yeah, it was interesting. I enjoyed that aspect. I listened to our books. I start off listening to our books anyway because I'm at work, and that was something I really enjoyed. And I was wondering how that would look, but I didn't really have any much of those scenes when I got to reading it.
mhm.
But I was enjoying it at work. Like, ooh, it was giving telenovela. It was giving Jane the Virgin. I was really enjoying that.
Now, moving on to our likes and dislikes.
Okay.
Would you like to share some of your likes?
Sure. So I really loved how rich the characters were. I felt like I could really like see them when I was listening, when I was reading. I enjoyed both of their families a
Mm-hmm.
lot. They felt like characters that I knew, people that I knew. I loved when uh it was his grandma was like she it was just like little like nuanced things that just felt like home. The grandma looks at Yadiel after he had broken his collarbone and he's jumping all around again in the hotel. She gives him a look and he stops. And I was like, yeah, because what are you doing?
Yeah.
But he was being a kid. But I was also just like, That's what a grandma would do. That's what my grandma would do.
Great.
All it takes is a look. I loved how much Ashton's family had his back. Like the support
Mm,
that he had was,
phenomenal.
it really was. It like could move one to tears. It was beautiful. I also loved, just bringing it back to the family. Ashton says to Yadiel at one point, like, "Are you asking me or are you telling me?" And I was like, "My whole life." You asking me or you telling me that? And it's like, okay, chill out. And I was like, go ahead, Dad.
I liked the fact that we had different kinds of Latin characters included.
Mm-hmm.
So some of their castmates were from different countries, and I liked that aspect of it. I liked that there was one family who was supportive of their dreams and one who wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was an important representation there, especially because typically you would think that your family is going to be so excited that you're a star.
Yeah.
But Jasmine did not care, which was sad for her because they didn't recognize all of the good that she was doing for herself and, for the community. But it was, it added an element to the story that I appreciated. I also loved her cousins, Michelle
Mm-hmm.
and Ava. Are those their names?
Yeah, those are their
Okay.
names. They were
I
great.
loved Michelle and Ava. I wish I could have more of
I
them.
think they have books.
They do?
Yeah, there's two other
Oh,
books in the series.
okay. Oh, I thought it might have been a series, but then the way that this one wrapped up, I felt like
It was
it
done.
was done.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And then I did think it was cool to have the scenes play out. So,
same. Loved the loved the difference of the families. Loved the cousins. I also love that it touched on like some really serious topics.
mhm.
So I love that I'm not gonna say it like touched on them. I love that they brought up serious topics and like
Mhm.
brought light to those topics, I should say. So I love that they bring up how the government failed Puerto Rico during
Hurricane
Hurricane
Maria.
Maria. That was, you know, needed.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people
Necessary
don't know. Yeah,
context.
very necessary. Thank you. That's the word. I love that it talked about the lack of representation that exists in Hollywood for Latin and well Latino. What did
Mhm.
I say? Latinx? Is it Latinx?
Say whatever you want because everybody says whatever they want.
Okay. um, but for Latino and Latinas, I will say, um, the lack, and we see that even when we do our Dreamcast, we've been like,
There's
there's
nobody
no
to
one to pick.
cast.
I
Yeah.
don't know these people, and it's like I know them in life, but I don't
Mhm.
know them on TV to be like, oh, so and so. Let's change that. Um, also loved this book really touched a lot on like self-discovery, finding like that love, like the love life work life balance, um and also it like touched a lot on like embracing vulnerability, and I just really enjoyed it. And also I love the scenes from Carmen. I would watch Carmen.
I actually would watch Carmen too. Now that you said it,
Yeah,
I would watch it
I would
too.
watch Carmen.
Yeah. In terms of my dislikes,
Hmm.
as I said before, the scenes from the book did confuse me at times. I didn't like the fact that his name was Ashton, that he chose the name Ashton.
Mm.
I didn't like that.
He had such a good name.
He did, but also like you couldn't have chosen like one of the two first names instead of you could have been Angel because then in English it would have just been
Angel.
Angel.
Yeah.
Ashton, that was really bad. Ashton Suarez. Okay. And then I
I'm sorry, just touching on that when she was like, that makes sense, because I was wondering where your parents got Ashton from. And I was like,
yeah,
something like something you would say.
I mean, because I would. And then I I think I disliked the fact that it was a classic cliche there at the end where she was like, I'm gonna leave and I'm never gonna come back. And I don't know. I kind of wish that that wasn't included.
Hmm.
Although she did end up making the decision on her own to stay, which is
Yeah.
great, but like why are we doing this? We
Right.
could use other plot lines to tell this story.
Hmm.
And then you guys, someone tell me in the comments. Sometimes I wonder if people actually talk like this in real life. Do people say make jefa moves? I've been I don't have a lot of Spanish speaking friends, so I've never heard someone say make jefa moves. Or even in English, they'd say like, ah, be a badass queen. Who talks like
I definitely was thinking it.
that?
So I'm happy you said it. I was just like, who? I don't know. I was
I
like,
don't know who talks
when
like
did this
that.
book come out though?
I don't know.
2020, I think I read.
I don't.
I think. If it's 2020, I'm saying that, so that's 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The people born in 1990 talk like that. Because that's how old she was. She was 30.
I don't know that anybody talks like that in general, honestly.
I
And
don't know.
then I know that some of these things are on like on t-shirts or sweatshirts. It'll say Jefa moves or something like that. Fine, but I don't know that any I don't know that people actually talk like that. So that was a weird pet peeve of mine. What about you? Did you have any dislikes you'd
I
like to share?
did. I did. I wrote that I hated how hard. I wrote that I hated how hard Ashton was on himself,
Hmm.
and I loved that. You know, at the end, it was kind of just like a everyone's all right, bro. You don't have to be like.
Yeah.
I get that he was doing those things for, like he said, everything was for his family and his career, and it's also like everyone's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do 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 you take care of yourself? But yeah, that was like my major dislike was just how hard he was on himself. Okay, moving on to ratings.
Ooh.
So as you know, we don't rate things on a scale of 1 to 10 or 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
That's boring. So we rate things from WTF was that? It
In
was oh,
interesting, but wouldn't read again.
it was good.
Yeah. Loved, would read again. And how
How
will I ever go on? So, with that being said,
how'd you rate the book? That's what I'm supposed to
I
say.
said, okay,
With that being said,
okay.
how would you read? How would you rate this book, Eve?
I rated it at it was good. I don't know that I need to read it again.
Same. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah. Let us know how you guys feel. Maybe you'll tell us that you think we have trash opinions, and that's okay. Just be nice about it. Thank you.
I'm gonna be quizzing E this app. Who am I?
I don't
I
know.
don't have
Game show
many
host.
questions. Hire me for the price is right. I have 2 questions.
Okay.
First question: Who? Who? Am I okay?
I don't
Finish
know.
this quote.
I don't
Finish
know.
the quote.
Hmm.
All right. Leading ladies do not end up on tabloid covers. That's just not true, Michelle cuts in. Look at blank. They put that poor lady on magazine covers.
Jennifer
Oh,
Aniston.
okay, well,
Jennifer
and a
Aniston.
really great list of ladies.
Sorry.
Cool.
I knew that one
Wow.
because it was very true.
Yeah, that
They
poor
do
lady.
put that lady on
They
any
just
tabloid for any lie.
second question.
Okay.
Finish the quote.
Mm.
Okay. Just getting back from the Bronx, my cousin Ronnie's daughter turned 1. She rolled her eyes. Nothing says baby's first birthday like an 8 hour long celebration. I'm exhausted. Or, nothing says baby's first birthday like a Christmas dinner spread. Excuse me, like a Christmas dinner spread. I'm stuffed. Or, nothing says baby's first birthday like an open bar. Nothing says baby first birthday like a DJ,
It's the third one,
which was what?
the open bar
It was
one.
the open bar.
Yeah.
Because
I you know how I knew that? Because it's real life.
it's real life. Same.
Why are we having beers at a baby shower?
Also,
It's a club at a baby
that's
shower.
terrible for the mother who's pregnant. Because don't drink in my baby shower. If I can't drink, you can't drink. Are you
Don't
crazy?
be selfish. I'm drinking.
Shut it down.
I'm drinking. Glad I knew that one. That one was just a deep cultural
I was about to say,
knowing.
you just went with you went with your gut.
Yes.
Yeah.
The minute you started talking about it, I was like, it's a bar. All right. Well, I'm proud of myself. I got 2 out of 2 right.
Yes, you
That's
did.
that's that's a big deal. So now we get to move on to our tearjerker or meaningful quote segment.
Mm.
And let me know. Do you have anything to share? Did anything make you cry? Because nothing made me cry.
Nothing made me cry.
Okay.
Things did like pull at the heartstrings a little bit,
Okay.
and I had to be like, "Get it together, you're a thug." I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay. So the first one that got me, this one just made me upset.
Oh.
Michelle says, the men in this family get away with acting like a bunch of babies. They sit around eating and talking like the women do it while the women do everything. The Latinx gender roles run deep. Is it any wonder our generation has made such sucky romantic choices? She says, I don't date. She points at Ava. She's divorced, and you're a serial monogamist. And I was just like, oof, read me for. I was like, it's me. I'm speaking. I am Michelle.
Yeah. That one was really good. I remember that moment in the book, and again, deep cultural knowing.
hmm
So,
I'm not a Latinx, but
shout out to you, Alexis, for describing a worldwide experience,
for sure,
cross-cultural experience.
us ladies are feeling it. You are
Absolutely.
preaching to the choir.
One of my important quotes was, "This couldn't last. Good things never did. But for right
Mm.
now, he would live in the moment with her while he could." Why do so many of us think this way?
Such a great question, Eve.
Like I know that I've thought this way. I
Of
know that
course,
so many other people have thought this way, but for what?
so dramatic. Why is it so life or death?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And like the moment is good, no? Then let's enjoy the moment.
Why? Why are we thinking negatively?
Yeah. Like when's the next shoe gonna drop? Okay, well, you know what? You can't predict that just like you can't predict when it's gonna all get better again. So
hmm
what's the purpose of this? That one was like frustrating and also, like I said, I obviously could relate.
Um, this one really tugged at my heartstrings. Okay, it's Ashton,
hmm
and he says he didn't say. Well, he does, this is like his inner thoughts. He doesn't say this, but he didn't say anything. But he
hmm
hoped he got to meet her parents someday, so he could tell them how amazing their daughter was. They were missing out on knowing her.
I remember that.
I went.
That was so
I
cute.
thought it was so beautiful that he like saw her and like wanted to be there for her and like that even that he had that thought of just like this girl is everything and like the fact that people don't know that is crazy. And then when he sees her peoples and that's like the first thing out of his mouth was like Jasmine is so talented and
Yeah.
I was just like I love that for you, Jasmine.
Yeah. I okay, so I don't know if I was desensitized to this whole dynamic because sometimes I would read about Jasmine's family and I would think, "Oh girl, that's light work. They're not they're not that bad. You can get over it. You're 30 years old and you know that you want to be an actress and you're pretty successful at it. Move along."
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I think I was desensitized to it because I kind of just thought that they could have been a lot worse.
True.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think it was so it didn't read to me like it was something that was really like to her like she was upset about it, of course, you know. So
hmm
and I think she was living with it. I don't know. That's how I.
To me, I read it as she, I mean, she moved all the way to Los Angeles and refused to move back because she was like, I have problems with my family. To me, those were not big enough problems for you to
Stay
say,
away from your family.
I'm never coming back over here. To me, it's like, okay, you guys don't get along and you're not going to want to spend uh, hours upon hours together. But at the same time, I didn't think it was enough to say, I've had such a bad childhood. I have such a bad family dynamic, which is the vibe that I got from her.
I don't know that I got that vibe.
I got that vibe from her,
Yeah,
especially with her being like, oh my God, the only people that I can relate to, that I
are
can
my
talk to are
cousins.
my two cousins, and everyone else sucks. And who was it? Was it Santiago or something like that? Her cousin that would make fun of her.
Sammy, I think his name was
Sammy, I
maybe.
don't
I don't
remember
know.
what his name was. He wasn't even that important. And he would really get under her skin. And again, I was thinking, light work.
Yeah, truly.
Light work. The things that he was saying, I was like, girl, you want to be in Hollywood? And your cousin is making fun of you for dating some weirdo. Are you okay? I think you should have a thicker skin than this.
Oh, she was so like fragile. She had
Yeah.
to grow up, but I do think we see that in the end, where she like kind of
Yes.
she has that
That is
like
definitely
yeah, she was too fragile. So like, thank God she didn't have the like the real no.
notoriety.
Oh Lord, thank God she didn't have the notoriety that she aspired to have because
Hmm.
you were not prepared for it.
No.
The tiniest little things bothered you.
Yeah. That that's for me
Yeah,
where I was like, I don't think your family's that bad, bro.
yeah. I get that, like your parents, like the dinner scene or the brunch scene where like
Mhm.
she's talking about her career, or they don't ask questions about her career, which
Mhm.
is hurtful. That would hurt my feelings for sure. If my family didn't show interest in the things that I was doing, but when I'm trying to talk and then they're like, "Oh, and look at this picture of your nephew, and look at this, and this one's
Mhm.
pregnant," it's like I understand, like I feel like you're valuing these things over the things that I'm doing, and that's hurtful. So I
Mhm.
sympathize with her there, but at the same time, it also wasn't something to be like I need a double fist
Thank you.
mimosas for.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I thought that was dramatic. Anyway, my next quote was uh now he still had those dreams, but he could see that the journey there would be better if he let people in, if he trusted that there would be more opportunities. And this was Ashton's train of thought. And what it made me think was lack mentality will have you bound to your circumstances when freeing yourself could bring you so much more than you could have even imagined.
mm, so true.
Yeah,
Cut it out.
honestly. He was, like you said, he was way too hard
He
on
was
himself.
so hard on himself.
And I can't even imagine, like, you spent the last 8 or 9 years not taking advantage of whatever opportunities came your way and all of that.
Yeah, and it made me wonder who Yadiel's mother is and like where she was in her career.
Yeah. How do you, you're 38 and you don't have any friends? He didn't have any kind of life.
No, none.
That
You don't.
was really
You're not even
sad.
with your family all the time, and you do everything for your family. So you're just
Hmm.
alone for majority of your life, and that's sad.
And it looks like he's someone who, what we would assume George Clooney was like, that everything is just about the career and that's it. There's no other thing for you in your life, like, or you know how we picture CEOs that are super young, that like everything is just about
The
work
job.
work work 24/7 and nothing else, and I don't really care about my family or my friends or any other kind of
Yeah.
hobbies. And that's not who he was.
Mm-mm.
So how long did, I don't know, he lived a long time
Doing
not
that
being
himself.
authentic. Yes, because he wouldn't trust that his journey was going to be fine if he let people in. That was that.
I also feel like
Hmm.
I'm not a the incident that happened that caused him to be so like I have to protect, also didn't feel like it warranted
That
eight
kind of
years,
response.
8 years of that response. I don't know. I don't know what I would do if someone broke into my home and especially into my baby's room, and like I
Mhm.
don't know what that would trigger in me, and God forbid I ever do experience that.
Mhm.
But I did also feel like, babe, we gotta. I mean, I guess that's what the story was, because we gotta move on.
Yeah. I don't know that I wouldn't react that way, but I also don't know that I could sacrifice 8 years of my kid's
It's
life
that part.
because you chose to lean into the fear and then you missed out on the most crucial moments in this baby's life.
Hmm.
He's now 8, 9 years old, and I don't know. I can't. That would break my heart if I went home every so often and I had to leave my son.
Yeah,
It's weird, and he's some like weird secret strange to me.
yeah,
Cause then he didn't even have anybody else, so then no one else could know about this kid either. That's very isolating for the kid. It was isolating for you, and as a parent, I think you have to be considering how everything is affecting not just you but your kid. So if you're not the best version of yourself, how can you show your kid how can you serve as an example for them? Because I think that you need to serve as an example for them.
hmm.
So, yep.
I wondered about, just quickly. I did wonder if Yadiel, Yadiel was allowed to say like, "Oh, this is my puppy,"
I don't think so. I think that was in the book, actually.
Oh, he wasn't allowed to say. Maybe I missed it.
I think because I remember his teachers were under an NDA.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think that it was encouraged for him
To speak
to
about
speak
it,
about it, to tell
and he
people,
did
"Oh,
live
my
in
dad is a."
Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
which the novellas were popping in. So.
Yeah. It it goes, "Unbelievable was right, but Jasmine couldn't help smiling back. Kitty's enthusiasm was genuine, and while she wanted
Mm,
to ask, why the mean articles and headlines if you're such a fan, she didn't, because in the moment she looked at Kitty and saw herself a few years back, struggling to make it in an industry that didn't value her contributions, fighting to make her voice heard and her work visible." I loved this part of the book
me too.
because, for one, yay Jasmine for recognizing that sometimes people in from our culture or from other cultures as well,
Hmm.
they are doing their jobs and they just need someone to pay attention to them so that they can they can make it there, break the glass ceiling or like chip at it just a little bit. So that was great on one hand, and then on the other hand, I thought I've had moments where I've let stuff go from people who did me wrong, and it's because I knew that they weren't capable of doing better.
Mm.
Kitty, in her case, media is weird, and yes, I do believe that Kitty, for example, could have taken photos or written a story and it wasn't supposed to be a salacious headline, and they made it into one, the tabloid itself, the editors, whatever. I
Right.
I do believe because
It can happen. It does
that
happen.
that does happen. But that's not to say you always treat it that way when someone does you wrong.
Hmm.
But sometimes I notice that because I'm in such a better place in my life, I I do think that it's not even worth entertaining the conversation because I already understand why you're doing the things that you're doing, and nothing you can say can make me sympathize or empathize with you more. And we're good. You go ahead on your journey, and I'll go ahead on mine. But
Yeah.
some people have certain jobs. Like I know the girls on the reel would say it all the time that like this is just my job. They
Yeah.
told me to give my opinion about something. I don't actually want to give my opinion about people. You just have to do what you have to do, and that's
Yeah.
basically I felt what Kitty was doing. Who knows what that actual character wanted to write about? Maybe
Right.
she wanted to be on E News, and typically E News is not, salacious.
Right.
So I don't know.
And she did, like she said, when she remember she read, there was a part where she actually read an article that
And
was written.
it was a
It was
good
a good
thing.
article,
Yeah.
but it was just overpowered by the nonsense.
Yeah. So that that's where I was coming from with it. It wasn't like a it's not like a, oh, you don't know any better in life. No, it's more of, I understand why you're doing the things that you're doing, and it's cool with me. We just have to figure out how to coexist. That's all.
Okay. Okay, moving right along to superlatives.
Ooh,
All
ooh.
right. Do you want to start?
Sure. So, most likely to give himself a panic attack is Ashton.
Cause boy, what?
Over what?
Just tripping. I have
Nonsense.
most likely to be a reality star, Jasmine. 'Cause I wrote, to quote Danielle, get drama. Like she was just all over the place. I was like, this girl.
She should be on the Real
She,
Housewives.
she was like, she is messy. Just like her
Yes.
life was just a mess. I was like, she needs to be on a. She could be a reality star. If this acting thing don't work for her, she better go ahead. But I really feel like that up until she got it together.
Yeah.
I said that I was most like Ashton,
Hmm.
um, in the sense of like we tend to like put our family like it's always at like the forefront of our mind. Um, I'll tend to like do things for the family and I'll be stressed out about it. You know what I mean? I'm happy to do it and I'm like, I have to do it because it's my family and this is what I do. And I'm
Hmm.
happy to do that. But then there's sometimes I'll do all of that and then it goes like unnoticed.
Hmm.
And not that I need the recognition, you know what I'm saying? But like,
Hmm.
it's not like, and it's like, well, I just did X, Y, and Z. And everyone's like, but who asked you to do that? And I'm like, who did ask me to do that? Like, and it was like the same with Ashton where he was like
Hmm.
protecting who's asking you to do all of this? We're good.
It's a, but what I hear you're describing is it's an internal thing. You're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for everybody else. At least that's definitely what was happening with Ashton.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't doing it. He like the whole protection thing wasn't for Yadiel or Ignacio or his abuelita or abuelito. It wasn't for them. They didn't feel like they needed it. It
Of
was
course.
him that
Yeah.
needed it.
Yeah.
So
And that's a possibility.
it is a possibility.
For sure.
Next up is big screen, small screen. So, what did you have in mind for the big screen, small screen?
So while I was reading this, I just kept feeling like this was like one of those Netflix movies with Christina Miliano. I said this about a book to you last week, but it was giving like one of those, like a OG ABC Family movie or Freeform now,
Mm,
ABC Family Forever.
mm-hmm.
um, yeah, it did that. Like it was given those kind of feelings. Like it wasn't something that like I'd sit in the movie theater to watch,
Hmm.
but like, oh, I pop this on and like I'm gonna watch it.
I thought initially I was thinking, I don't really know that I need to see this in a movie or TV form unless if it was like Jane the Virgin,
Hmm.
because Jane the Virgin was very dramatic. I personally haven't watched soap operas in English. I've only watched them in Spanish, but I thought that they did a good job at making a novela in English. So
Same.
I would think that this is how this had to go because it was too dramatic.
So dramatic, and I loved the like show. I also thought it'd be great because it could be like the show within the show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it could build as a. I could see it going as a little short series as well.
Yeah.
Did you have? I guess not any casting.
No, I didn't do any casting.
I do have a little bit of casting.
Ooh,
Okay.
share, please.
There were a couple men that came to my mind while I was reading. First was like Adam Rodriguez. Do you know who that is?
No.
It's probably, yeah. Julio, is it Macias? He was spooky and on our block. He might be a little young. He like 34, but he was fine. And then I also thought of Manny Montana. Look him up. Also very handsome.
We will also put his picture up.
Yes. Then I thought of for Jasmine
Hmm.
because I also was like, how old is she? But then she said like early 30s, so she's 30.
Hmm.
So Sierra Ramirez, who played on The Fosters, she was the sister. What's her name?
Yeah, the one who was the twin?
Yeah, one of the twins.
Yeah.
Then I thought of Camila Mendez.
Ah, could not see Camila Mendes
I
playing this
could.
role.
Um, Francia
Raisa.
Risa, and Melissa Barrera. She
I've
was
heard that
in.
name.
She was in the Heights.
Mm. Okay, that's why I've heard that name.
The grandparents. I thought of having well, on the show. I thought that it should definitely be the abuela from Jane the Virgin. I think her name is Yvonne, but I can't remember her last name.
She's cute. I love her.
Loved her. And then for Ashton's father.
Hmm.
Okay, I didn't have to look this actor up. I'm so sorry, but the father-in-law from George Lopez show. So the wife's father. If you guys remember who
Mm.
that was, but I thought he'd be a good Ashton's father.
Okay.
Now we're gonna get into what did you learn?
Okay. So for me,
Hmm.
I would say I focus more on the good thing in the moment than whether it's gonna last or not.
Ooh, yeah.
It's just you're wasting the good moment, babe. And then I don't respect a martyr, like which
Mm.
was what Ashton was doing. You wasted so much of your life. The book re-emphasized removing yourself from the lack mentality
Mm. Can you expand
because
on that?
it was about I it was about the quote that I had from Ashton, and it was that his journey could be great if he let people in, and I think that his version of lack mentality was that I can't have I can't have this life, this Hollywood life, because I need to protect XYZ.
Mm.
And so it like he looked at it as like I can't be happy because I'm not gonna be able to let people in or anything like that to protect other people. And to me, that is a version of a lack mentality because you
Mm.
feel like you can't have everything that you want. You can't have friends, you can't have family around, you can't have your son around, you can't date or anything like that because if you do, then everything is gonna
Fall
fall
apart.
apart
Yeah.
and everyone's gonna be in danger.
Boo.
So that's why I said it
Yeah.
re-emphasized that, like remove yourself from that like
Yeah.
the possibilities are endless. Things could be really good. I also thought more of giving others grace sometimes means that it's because their issues aren't on your radar anymore. That's it.
You could explain, expand on that.
On giving others grace,
Hmm.
well,
But more on like the latter part of that.
because their issues aren't on your radar anymore. It's
Hmm.
like, when people are mean in comments,
Mm. Hmm.
but that's not reflecting your
Of
reality really,
yeah,
and it's reflecting their reality.
it don't
So
got
that,
nothing to do with you. Is what you're saying.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, give people grace, and like, and you're able to give people grace because that's not your place in life, because you can see it from a wider perspective.
Understood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I took from the book.
Okay. I love that.
Thanks.
Thanks. Um. So what I learned from the book was kind of what I spoke about before,
Hmm.
just re-emphasizing no one's asking you to do these things. Like live your life. Everyone will be okay. If someone needs you, they'll tell you.
Yes. And I don't
Um,
respect a martyr.
huh?
I don't respect a martyr.
I hear you. Um, I also have love yourself enough because Miss Jasmine was really like I feel like she was putting too much like emphasis on these men. We didn't even talk about McIntyre because like, boo.
A
You know what I
non-factor.
mean? But I feel like the whole beginning of this book was like, I can't believe this, and I can't believe he did all of this to me. And it's like, girl, stand up. You can't believe a man cheated?
In
Really?
Hollywood.
You can't believe it that a famous singer cheated on you?
And just to go back to meaningful quotes, um, but it could be something that you learned from this book.
Okay.
It goes, New Jasmine refused to take the blame for the actions and choices of others. Thank you. That
That's
is
it.
right, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Nothing irks me more than someone who takes on other people's crap as their own, which is where I was saying I don't respect a martyr.
Yeah.
That was their choice to be that way. It was McIntyre's choice to cheat on you. It was McIntyre's choice to do it the way that he did.
Yeah.
It's not on you.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. I understand that it will make you feel bad. Everyone has their insecurities, but for you to let it drag on
And to
is
drag you down.
yes.
Yeah. I
Yes.
don't get it in the sense of like a man. I don't get it. Um, she was putting too much weight in that for me.
Hmm.
In men, even with Ashton, when she's like, like you didn't tell me you had a. It's like, okay, like yeah, I get that you're upset that you're finding out about stuff. Like, dang, bro, like we really be kicking it heavy. That's something you could have told me.
Hmm.
Um, but like you, it was just like this big drama. It's like you're putting too much weight on stuff that like that was a him thing.
Hmm.
That was his issues. Like, dang, why he didn't tell me that?
Yeah.
Not instead of like he didn't tell me that. It's not about you.
It's not. It wasn't about him, but also I even think of once again her family, that she was so upset at the way that they were, the way that they treated her. Okay, ma'am. You've known this for how long that they are this way, that they only value marriage and children.
You
You're
knew that when you decided to be an actress.
yeah, you're 30. Look, what's going on? Either you value what you're doing and yourself, or you're constantly seeking it from other people,
Yeah,
which was her problem. And she
right.
did
And she
get
got
better
there.
at it. Thank you. But that was frustrating
Very.
to read. Would you read more from this author?
I'm interested to see Ava and Michelle's story. So yeah, I think I would read more from this author. I I also I didn't say this before, but I also kind of related to Michelle and Ava and like being there for their family, their grandparents especially.
Hmm.
I'm just like I'm gonna be there because y'all mine.
I'm interested to see if her writing is in general dramatic. So I'd
Right.
be
Oh,
interested
if
to
it's
know if
like
yeah,
novella esque books.
yeah,
Okay.
or if it's like it was Jasmine that was like this versus it would be nice to read Michelle and Ava's books because I do feel like they were very different to
They
her.
were. They were very non dramatic. They'd be
Yeah.
like, girl.
Yeah,
And they
so I
knew
would
that,
like
I mean,
to
they had the whole scale of like
yeah.
how she reacted to things and like her love life. So it's like,
Yeah.
they knew their cousin and they were like, yeah, that girl's just dramatic. So maybe that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
That's where I'm at with that. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. This is the end of our meeting. But
Yes.
before you go, please be sure that you are liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to
Mm-hmm.
this channel. I forgot what we're doing right here.
Right here or your
I
country.
don't know.
I liked it.
So much happening right now in my head. I'm hungry.
It's insane to me. Um, Make sure that you are pressing that notification bell so you know when we are posting. Also, please follow us on all the socials. Our links will be in the description box below.
And I think that's a wrap.
I think that's a wrap.
See you at the next meeting, girlies.
Bye, girlies.
Bye, girlies.